This is the Magical Friendships Podcast. I'm Dustin, the Magic Agent, and I'm here with my co-host, Devin.
I'm also here, and I'm magical.
Yes, you are.
And I'm sort of your friend.
Sort of.
And we have Caleb as well.
Yeah. Caleb, tell us your history. Who are you? What is your clan?
I'm just a random guy sorting math on the side of the table.
Okay. Well, feel free to chime in if you're interested in the topic. This is the casual podcast where we basically just chat for 45 minutes to an hour and have a good time. The topic for today is deck building and our philosophies around it. So we have a guy screaming about toilet paper. We're a very serious podcast.
Excellent inclusion. Yeah, that's got to go. That's going in.
Yeah,
I'm not cutting it.
Well, you don't edit it.
I don't edit it. No, I just send it. So it's definitely going in.
Yeah. So our philosophies around deck building. So Devin,
how do you want to start?
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about the decks that we have. How many? It got so loud in here all of a sudden. It was so quiet.
We started, it was quiet. Everyone's like, nah, we're going over here. Yeah. Fuck it. It'll still pick us up louder than them.
Yeah.
It'll just be.
Yeah, we'll crackle them right by the microphones.
Let's just fucking take some
free Doritos.
You want some Doritos?
Yeah, I'll take some.
Here, let me grab another. I got some barbecue. You want some barbecue? Hey, podcast listeners, if you're here, you can get.
We have to start over. We have to.
No, this is great.
Literally the loudest.
This is great. No, this stays in.
It's the loudest thing in the world.
This is great. This stays. This is the hill I die on right here. This fucking part of the podcast stays.
Okay, well, you and I cannot eat chips while we have the microphone.
I'm not gonna eat chips. I acquired chips, but I won't eat them.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
Caleb, you can eat them. You're not mic'd up. Oh man! Honestly, probably the best beginning to a podcast we've ever done.
I hope that it picked that up.
Oh, I'm sure it did. I can't wait to listen.
Okay. We were so loud. That whole thing, we were just yelling.
Hey, you guys want some Doritos? You know what? Fuck it. Let's do it.
We're 2.5 minutes in. We've said nothing.
We almost talked about deck building.
Yeah, we almost talked about deck building.
We get the philosophy.
Yeah.
You were going to ask me a question about something.
Yes.
Well, it was like how many decks I have, right?
Yeah. So like, how many decks do you have, and what kind of brackets do they hang around?
Let me just pull them out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decks.
Okay.
I got 6 decks. I'm looking at them. I think I only have 2 in universe. I know this is relevant to our last podcast. Yeah. I have 2 in. No, I guess Avatar is technically in universe, right?
No.
Yeah, so I have 2 in universe. One from Lorwyn that I just built, and then 1 Kenrith deck because I'm an asshole, and Kenrith is awesome.
Okay.
And then I have 4 universes beyond. But as far as deck build, like the strength of them, I would say I have 2, 3, like 2s, low 3s probably. They were made with like budget in mind, like restrictions in mind. Mm-hmm. One of them is 2DH, one of them is $150 budget, and the other one is like $100 budget.
Okay.
And then I have 3 other decks, Joda, Kenrith, and Knuckles, and those are like there's no restrictions. Knuckles is like a 4, Kenrith is a little higher 4, and then Joda is Joda.
Okay. So I have 5 decks right now that I keep in my rotation, and I have 2 bracket 2s, 2 bracket 3s, and a bracket 4. So neither of us are really running a 5 like tuned meta deck, or a 1 that is kind of like well, you have your Zuko deck, which is a chaos deck.
Chaos, but
so it's not
like a theme of like everybody has shoes on.
Yeah.
Like it's not a stupid. It has some consistency in the deck.
Yeah, but I mean, I've played against it, and I would say like if you played it in a bracket 1 game, like it wouldn't be blowing anybody out of the water.
Yeah, its whole plan of the deck is not to like win quickly. It's to get to a certain level of mana and efficiency that I don't need my lands, and so I just wipe out all the lands, but not for my own benefit, just because I can. And then we start swapping permanents.
Yeah. So is there a reason why you kind of hang out around the middle? Good night. It's the chip guy. No. Is there a reason why you kind of hang out in the middle?
Like the 2-3
3,
area?
4, you know?
My favorite decks are built with budget restrictions in mind, like 2DH or 100 or 150 as like the top end, because I feel like the best moments in Magic for me are not when I play a One Ring or a Jessica's Will or Tutor or something. They're when I assemble a stupid combo that somehow works with cards that are like uncommons and commons and bulk rares that people don't know of or have heard of.
Why is that interesting to you?
Because everybody knows how to look up those EDH rec combos of 2-card, like Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Consultation and shit, and that's boring to me. I don't want to see that. And again, I don't want to. I've already, in my past games, as I started the game, I got all the extra turns and Storm and all the really strong concept out of the way. And now I like to do the jank shit, and it brings me pleasure to be like, oh, let's play these stupid decks that don't win on turn 4. I like battle cruising, getting to the turn 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s.
So you weren't always like as casual or as invested in playing the things that people don't know about.
Yeah, I think when I first started playing Magic, and when I pick it back up too, I wanted to do the best of whatever category I was in, and I wanted to hit like the peak of whatever I was playing. So I did things like Storm, and I did things like maxing out all the cards that I could, like the best possibility for each situation, and then I just grew bored of it. That level of Magic is just not as fun, I feel like, because you end up seeing a lot of the same combos and the same cards.
Do you play any other formats other than Commander?
I mean, Draft.
Yeah.
Sealed, limited stuff.
But not like constructed?
No constructed. Yeah, okay. I don't play Standard, I don't play Modern.
Okay. And the reason I ask is, like, in those formats, most people are building to win. And it's different than Commander, because Commander's kind of the hang out with your buddies, just shoot the shit. I don't want to say that my decks are not built to win. They still are built to win, other than like Zuko. But I like to win in ways that I haven't won before. If I play a Storm deck or a Landfall deck, I've done it, and I need to move on to something, or that style gets boring for me. Okay. That's interesting, because I'm kind of similar. The things that keep me around those brackets is I enjoy playing commanders that they don't tell you what direction to go necessarily. Like they give you
open-ended.
Open-ended. Like Marisi is like goad, but do you do tokens? Do you do flyers? I actually have mine currently built as enchantments, because I realized there were a lot of enchantments that give unblockable and stuff. I never draw them, but one of the things that really interests me in deck building is when you have a commander that has a certain like style that they're known for, and then building them a different way.
That's cool.
So like Xyrus is typically a wheels deck.
Yeah.
I built Xyrus before he came out. Like I saw him on a...
You're referring to a commander, but you want to explain what it does for people that don't know what your commander does?
Yeah, everybody knows Xyrus.
No, they don't.
So Xyrus is a teamer 5-drop. He's 2 colorless, blue, green, red, and he's a Snake Leviathan 3/5 flyer. He says... whenever an opponent would draw a card, except the first card they draw during their draw phase, I get a 1/1 green snake. And whenever he deals combat damage to a player, that player and I draw that many cards. So he's traditionally built as a wheels commander, because you wheel with Xyrus and you get 21 snakes at a 4-player table.
Right?
Yeah, because you have impact
That makes
tremors
sense.
and
So how did you build it?
stuff. So I built mine as a fight spell deck, a pump spell deck. So I'm going to attack you with Xyrus, and then I'm going to spend 1 mana, give him +3/+3, and trample or double strike. You know, his pump spells are super cheap, and then that turns into a draw 3 extra cards, get 3 extra snakes. And shout out to Salubrious Snail, who kind of gave me the idea for the deck. He's a YouTuber, but
Free promo.
yeah,
Lucky guy.
On this podcast,
Yeah,
the one with the 3 minutes of chips. So, like, I watched that video, and I was already, like, I had Xyrus for a few years at that point, and I was like, I'm kind of bored, you know, doing the wheels over and over. Like, it's.
So you'd already built it that way.
Oh yeah, I had that deck for years, and then I looked at that video, and I was like, I am gonna build it that way, but I'm gonna make it my own in that way.
Yeah. I love that about Commander.
Yeah.
And I love what I get what you mean about, like, commanders that are open-ended and can be taken different ways. And I feel like a lot of abilities are that way. I feel like some of the commanders that are the most popular are actually kind of, like take Kenrith, right? For instance, he has so many different ways to build him because of his activated abilities.
Yeah.
But there's the optimal way, and then you can just go off on your own, you know, tangent and decide what you want to build.
Yeah.
And I think that the optimal way is what I did in the beginning, and then as I got bored of it, like you did with Xyrus, I was like looking for a new outlet for this commander that I like, but I want to do it in a different way.
Yeah. And like there's open-ended in the way that they're flexible, and then there's open-ended generically good. Like, how many Simic commanders are there where you can just draw cards, put lands out? That's what they do.
That's every Simic commander ever.
Yeah, and that to me is not interesting. Even if they do it in cool ways, it's like if I'm doing the thing that the format wants and getting rewarded for it, it's not as interesting. You also have things like Atraxa, where it's like, you could build it a few different ways, but it's still Atraxa, you know? You're going to put counters out and proliferate them. The real choice is, do you want 1/1s or infect, you know? So if you're looking at your commanders, do you ever think down the line, like, what do I want to do if I scale this commander up or down?
Ooh, I have thought about that.
Yeah.
Knuckles was one of those. I started, he was lower budget, and then as I played with him a few times, he had a couple where he would just hit that early mana, cast him on like turn 3, and then eliminate a player in like the next turn.
Yeah.
And I think that seeing what the deck can do after a few games makes me think, okay, maybe I should turn it up. Which is why Knuckles became a 4 instead of like my general 2 or 3. But I think the only time that I'm thinking about upgrading my like lower tier decks is if they either suffer because their budget, like they're weak because of the card availability in that specific subject, and the cards that they need are kind of high to make them a reasonable 3. Or I just enjoy a commander so much that I dive in like full. Like Kenrith is my pet commander, and he's also like just one of the most popular commanders, but I don't have him like any of his specific activated ability. He's not built to do any. He's not built for haste. He's not built for counters. I occasionally use him to gain life and draw cards, but only because it's advantage. And he's not built around his reanimate. He's literally in a Gates deck. The goal of the deck is to win with Gates, not with Kenrith, and he has nothing to do with the deck other than
bracket 4.
Yeah, but it's bracket 4 because it's fast mana, it's Jessica's Will, it's Lotus Petal, it's and I just win with Mazes in like turn 5.
Yeah.
And I have interaction.
Yeah. Do you always start at like middle bracket and then kind of tune from there, or have you ever built like, I want to build a 4?
I think it's always middle.
Yeah.
I think I start with a commander. I think I see, like, usually see the new commanders coming out, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. And then I'll be like, my first goal with most commanders is to build it 2DH or bracket, like with a budget concerned. And then I'll be like, this one's really fun, or this one suffers because I'm limiting it and doesn't do its plan very well. And so I need to bust it out of the bracket and bust it out of that budget and send it up the bracket.
Yeah. I think that, to me, there's a lot of appeal to commanders that can go up or down. So I
flexible.
I just built my Rowan deck.
We saw that.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I think that you need a little more practice, but the few changes that you did for like the second game obviously came into play. But yeah, it's a cool idea.
Yeah, and the reason why I picked her is like I wanted something for a higher level table, just in case like that's what people wanted to play. And I pulled out like 10 commanders from my binder, and I kind of ranked them on power, and then I ranked them on how interesting they were. Yeah. And she and Vraska, I don't remember which Vraska. It was like, no, it's from Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and when a creature your opponent controls dies, you can pay 1 and get a copy of it, but it's a treasure that you can sacrifice. So I was like, man, these are both really cool, but Rowan has the ability to go up. And then I looked into her, and it was like, oh, she's also got a small CEDH following, where it's like she can go all the way up. And that was really appealing to me. It's not something that I like went out to consider, but it was nice to know if this is a deck that I enjoy, there's an avenue to where if I do want a CEDH deck, it's going to be a lot easier to take my 4 to a 5, you know?
I think for me, when it comes to CEDH, it's a general thought of like, where am I playing that? I don't think I have pods of friends that have the kind of level of deck that, one, that I want to play against, and then 2, that we have the ammunition to bring out all the time. And the friends that I do would be like, okay, but I need to proxy like half the deck, which is fine. But I don't know. I don't think I even have like me and Caleb's general pod. The 2 or 3 other players that we play with don't have like the game experience to really pilot CDH 5 power 5 level decks.
There's a couple
like
things.
Corey, Jason, those guys wouldn't know what to do with power 5 like CDH decks.
It's like me just passing kind of like.
So then like, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like me passing. It's not quite. It's a Selesnya deck that I had bracket forward at one point, and it was like mostly designed to just punch out as many tokens as possible. But I've been slowly dialing it back down for like Brigid, the new Lorewyn commander for it. And over time, I could imagine if I just handed it out, like there are just so many missed triggers and like dumping my hand and then using a Slate of Ancestry so I could pay 4, tap it, discard my hand. If I have no cards in hand, I'm just going to discard nothing and draw for all my creatures I control and just keep ripping through the deck. But those are just things that they're going to miss.
Yeah, I just don't have a pod, nor do I have the desire to seek out a pod, nor do am I interested in going to like a tournament for CDH. So just making a high 4 or 5 doesn't matter to me.
Question on that. Well, there are a couple things that I wanted to ask, but we'll take it one at a time.
Sure.
So if there was like a CEDH tournament or CEDH night happening locally, do you think you would ever go just to have fun?
Because I don't align CDH and fun.
Well, here's
they don't mix for me.
Yeah, here's the thing that kind of changed my thinking on that.
Okay.
I kind of forgot what it was like to know good Magic players. And I'm not saying that to throw shade or anything, but like I think I might have told you about this. Back like Dragons of Tarkir, back before Commander was like really big, I played a lot of Standard. And there was always this guy that would come in the LJS. He would always have a unique brew, and he was just very good at the game. Like
Okay.
he's mechanically very good at the game. And I don't feel like that is a thing in Battle Cruiser Commander. You know, we're trying to have fun games and interesting games, so we're all trying to do our thing, but you might not play optimally, or with 4 players, the number of variables goes exponential.
Absolutely.
So it's hard to make the objectively right choice, and even if you do, you might still lose.
Absolutely.
CEDH to me is kind of a return to that, where there is an objectively right play. And there's something that's like, it scratches an itch in my brain where it's like, I'm going to do what I know is right. I'm going to follow my game plan. And I'm going to try and win. And it's not like cutthroat in the way that like, if you win, all your opponents are going to hate you. It's like, hey, we're all trying to play the best we can. And that's appealing to me.
I get that. I think that makes sense. I think for me, it's a consideration of I'm toting around decks that I will have the ability to play, and I just don't see myself. I consider myself to be a decent Magic player.
Yeah.
I can see lines, and I can see the process of like Storm and Landfall and all the ones that take a little bit of complexity to play. And I think that if I built a deck that was focused around this, just like turn 4, turn 3 win and CDH, then I don't know of a lot of tables that I would sit down with the friends that I have, and I'd just be like, okay, let's play our hardest decks.
Yeah.
And that doesn't sound fun to me. I don't have the pods to support that.
Did you have fun when we played Bracket 4 earlier today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the 3 of us, while we were playing, that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I think that there were objectively right choices and things that we drew, and yes, it was fun, but I don't and I have a deck for that. I think everybody should have their most strong, the deck they put the most effort into.
Yeah.
But just like we did, it's a deck you pull out once or twice for a game. Once those games are done, you go into the casual fun commander.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you spend an hour and a half playing the casual commander, you spend about 30 minutes playing the CDH.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think that there are people that just want to hang out at Bracket 4. Like when the bracket system was introduced initially, I was like, why would I play Bracket 2? I have a solid collection. I've been playing for a long time. I want to play Bracket 4. And then we got some players in our play group that were newer or just they weren't interested in that or didn't have the collections to support that.
Yeah.
So I toned down the bracket that I was playing. Still very fun. I think naturally I like to play at the high 3 level. That's where I sit. But it's if you're a player that wants to do that, no shame to you at all. Everybody's got their own preferences.
I just like to be able to communicate across the table, both in understanding the person behind the deck and their deck, that your and my decks are going to be somewhat on the same level, right? The rule zero talk, right?
Yeah.
If someone's playing a precon, maybe I have a precon, or I built a 2 that I can bring, and the same goes for Bracket 4 or 5. We could all bring quote-unquote Bracket 4, but if the buddies that I'm playing with don't know how to pilot Bracket 4, I don't really feel like it's quite equal.
Yeah, but I would say that, I consider myself a pretty good Magic player too, and I just built a deck where because I didn't hit a certain line, I went to the end of that line that I did hit, and I lost the game. I just didn't give myself an out.
Yeah.
And playing that deck, I can't remember if we played 1 or 2 more times after that. Once more. But I picked up, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be looking for.
And you changed 2 cards and made it better.
Yeah, and it's my counterpoint to that would be the only way to get better at that higher level is to play at it.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's not like you're stuck there.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I just would much rather revel in the trash. I want to play with all the trash cards because
Devin's family reunion.
Yeah, that's my family. If I had to pick between having the 6 bracket 2s or having 2 bracket 4 or 5s and playing all night as one or the other, I'm definitely pick the 2s and 3s.
I think if you make me pick between low 2 and like low 4, like just what I would enjoy playing, I'm going to pick low 4 every time. Because there's a point to me where the game gets too slow. And I just like, that's why I don't like your chaos
Never
deck.
seen it.
Yeah.
I don't have it too slow.
When you're playing the chaos deck, I'm like, he's having fun. Look at him.
Look at him go.
Look at him not go.
I think that it's worth noting that my favorite card in all of Magic, and I will own one day, is Shahrazad.
Yeah.
Which is basically you just play a mini game on top of the game that you're playing right now.
Exactly what
and it makes the game so much longer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not my favorite card. That's not on my list of top 1,000.
Top 2,000, huh? That's not bad. Magic's had 100,000 cards.
I would probably have to write the list out to see.
Where's this at?
Okay, so there's been a couple of things mentioned. Let's talk about restrictions, because you've said that a couple of times.
Yeah.
You've mentioned 2DH and budget restrictions. What are some other restrictions that you might use to guide your deck building process?
Okay, my typical, what I usually start with, or just like, what are some that I've done?
I mean, you can do a little bit of both.
Okay, well...
Or if there's one that you haven't done that you're like, I've always kind of wanted to do this.
I've done just straight budget, whether it be 100, 150, 50. I even did a deck challenge where I built a $10 deck, which was hilarious. And it did win one game in a pod of four players. And then I think my preference is probably 2DH. I think that's the sweet spot. I'm open to a little higher with 100 or 150 being the budget, but like the best budget restrictions, the best like restrictions period on a deck, just are applying sort of this equal role, an agreed upon role as me and a pod of friends go into building like a set or something. Like Lorwyn comes out and I have a pod, Caleb's one of them, and then Jason, and then Brent as well. And we'll like say, all right, we're all going to build a commander from the new set, and we're going to set this budget for it. And so we all do it. And then like our decks monetarily will be on par. They could be bracket 2, 3, who knows?
I mean, I know 2DH, but if you set a budget of 150, is it just total, or could one card be $60? Like,
it's just total.
Okay.
No. So you could have a card worth $60 if you wanted, but you're suffering on the rest of your deck, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like 150 is a reasonable amount to get you like mid to upper tier 3 if you want. You could do a budget 4 with 150 on some commanders.
Yeah.
But it just depends on what commanders are in the set. And so we've been building one in Lorwyn. You actually played against mine, Kirill, tonight, and he built. What'd you build, Kim? Bridget, yeah. And like just having that flexibility of like, okay, I could play a really good game changer, right? But then there goes like a quarter of my deck, right? And so now I've got to find like the budget ways to make the other parts of the deck work, and then see what the commander can do at this level. And then once we've had, because we usually set like a date, and then we'll all meet up with our 150 budget Lorwyn decks. They don't have to be themed, but having a Lorwyn commander with 150 budget, we'll meet up, we'll play the game. We'll all get like a good feel of what that commander does at that level, and then you can decide, is this good enough, or do we go up? Like,
so you only play that deck at that budget for one day before you're kind of like, how does this feel?
Keep it that way.
Well,
we just set like an agreed upon, like, hey, I want to do these. We're all going to build a deck from Lorwyn. We're going to meet up. We're going to play them.
Yeah.
And then after that point, it was just like a single competition, a deck building challenge between all of us.
Do you think you'd still build that way if you didn't have a consistent pod, where you would just set those challenges for
I would
yourself?
probably just build 2DH.
Yeah. If you were just on your own.
On my own, I build 2DH because I can sit down. It feels like the same way I play Dungeons and Dragons. I will actively give the characters that I make disabilities to overcome them because I feel because it makes me feel better about when I achieve things.
Yeah,
like setting
because
Dark
you
Souls
haven't
on
overcome
hard,
your
right?
disabilities in real life.
yeah, exactly. I just like overcoming adversity as a general rule.
Interesting. I'm not as restricted. I don't enjoy setting a budget as a restriction. For me, I restrict myself more along the lines of theme. Like, you know, I have a bunch of decks where I don't want to do whatever the main theme of that commander is. And so, like, my Marisi deck is currently an enchantment deck. That's the second iteration of that deck. And I want to be different. And so I might play something that is, you know, not budget, but a different avenue to play that commander.
Sure.
Because I feel like when I set a budget restriction, I'm more of an independent player. I don't have as many, like, we meet up on Tuesday nights and we might have, you know, you, me, and one or two other guys from our group that we're meeting consistently. But I also go to a bunch of different game stores where I'm just trying to pick up random matches. And so I try and build decks that, like, I want to play as much as possible. You know, I don't know, but if budget is your primary method of restricting your deck building, or, you know, following your philosophy of it, how do you feel about proxies?
I don't mind proxies. I think the first iteration, the draft of a deck, if you want to bring it and play with it, because I think the best way to learn is on the table. Or I think just you build a deck, you don't have the cards on hand, just print them off, bring them to the card shop, play with that, see if that's what you want to keep. And then you have a really easy, like, oh, this one didn't work out, this one wasn't good, this is what I want to add. Just like the changes you did. Yeah. I think that proxies are a good way to get a feel for, do I want to build this deck and continue, kind of thing.
How do you feel about proxies as a permanent spot in the deck?
That's a little less for me.
Why?
Because if you've put enough time into getting the deck correct, like put enough effort into building it and enjoy playing it, I personally like to put the money in to buy the cards.
Why?
That's just I like to have the actual Magic cards.
Yeah, I'm just curious because, like, I've recently been hearing a lot. Like, it's probably come up half a dozen times in the past 2 weeks.
Sure.
Like, oh, it's a $50 card, so, you know, printer is 6 cents, you know? And I get that on a monetary level, like if you have a budget or you just don't want to spend the money.
Yeah.
But also, for me, there's kind of like this almost intangible quality to a card. When I look at a proxy and I look at the real card, I never have gotten excited about a proxy. Like, if somebody plays a proxy and does a play in a game, there's part of me that's going like, okay, you have access to every card in the world, like, cool, you did the thing. But if you do that with that same play with a real card, especially if it's a card I've never seen or heard of, I'm like, whoa, what is that? And it's not like I'm trying to look down on people for playing proxies. I just don't feel that same energy.
Interesting.
Yeah, like, you know, I've joked that, like, cards have souls. That's not true. But, you know, it's just like...
Not even people have those.
Disagree. but maybe it's because I've been collecting my whole life and I've been, you know, in card shops, but, like, I thought it was pretty funny. There's a guy that I was playing the other day and he had a big bag and all of his decks were 100% proxies.
That's wild.
And I pulled out my deck, it was Iris, and he's like, oh yeah, I have that one in here. I was like, I bet you do. And then, like, the person sitting next to me pulls out her deck and goes, I have that one. I'm like, I bet you do. Like, it's just, like, it's so hard for me to get excited about stuff like that, you know?
I think that having the availability, like letting people who don't have the money to buy those cards play those cards is the biggest upside of proxying, by far.
Yeah.
I think me just trying out the cards before I actually buy them is just easier case for me. Yeah. I don't endeavor to keep the deck that way usually, and so I get what you're saying. Like, I enjoy having the physical cards. I enjoy seeing the physical cards take place, and I think that it's wild that somebody just had like a full batch of proxy. That's kind of weird.
You want to know something that's kind of funny?
Of course.
He was down here because his local card store was closing, and I was like, well, maybe if you bought some cards.
Did you say that to him? Yes. That's funny.
You know, like, it's like,
I get it.
You know,
I understand. I don't think on a general level that people are like, I think that product's still being bought. I don't think that like the whole market's getting skipped by proxies.
No, and there's also a sentiment that Michael is a big proponent of this. I want to play against you, not your wallet.
Yeah.
And I think my main argument with that is I think a person's collection in some ways is a reflection of them, right? So throughout the years, you're collecting cards, you're building decks, you're finding the things that you like, and over time you're going to get that collection built up. And you know, there are some people that when I look at their trade binders, there's nothing that I'm interested in, regardless of budget. But when I look at somebody else's binder, I'm like, dude, this 50-cent card is awesome. And it's like, it's really cool. And so the decks that you build out of your collection are also reflections of you. And I know that's like kind of like woo-woo, but it just takes...
What was that?
Woo-woo? You never hear that?
I'm just kidding. I don't want to hear it again.
Yeah.
I wanted podcast listeners to get a chance to get you to do the waifu noise.
Waifu? You mean waifu?
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
Whatever.
Yeah. But like, does that make sense?
I think so. I think you just can't take the extra step to gatekeep, right? Like, you can't say, oh, well, I'm not going to play with you because you play with proxies. Like, when you get to that level, you're just kind of a dick.
Yeah, and I do that sometimes. No, just kidding. I just don't. I don't play with them myself.
If you don't get enjoyment out of it, that's just a personal preference.
Yeah,
if you like actively avoid people that play them, like, that's a different level.
I don't play with them, and I play against them all the time. You know, I played against that guy, and he had 100% proxies.
Yeah,
I didn't particularly enjoy it, but I wasn't going to be like, you know, shitting on his good time.
I'm sure he had fun.
Yeah, he did. He won. Surprise.
Yeah, surprise, yeah. Well, also, like, there's an element of distaste when it comes to proxying very expensive cards.
Yeah, I think it's a little different. Like
I have budget decks, and then I have proxies because I don't have the cards, but I will order them, and I have the money to purchase budget cards.
Well, like, CEDH is super proxy friendly because a Mox Diamond, which is a staple basically across the format, that's like $1,000.
Yeah, that's the other end of that spectrum, right?
Yeah, and it's like, I get that. But is there anything that, like, you've built over the years where you just played like one or two games with it and was like, nope, this isn't for me?
Ooh, I think there have been a couple commanders or archetypes that just put a bad taste in my mouth, and I think extra turns was like, oh, I played it like 3 times and was like, this is lame.
Is there a difference between repeated and, like, maybe there's just one card in the deck that has an extra turn? Or?
What do you mean?
So, like,
I'm talking about a deck built around having, like, that's the win con.
Yeah, but, like, if you have just one extra turn spell in the deck, do you
that's
think
not so bad.
No?
Yeah, I mean, one extra turn. If you're if your win con is that card and you're only playing one of it, then you're probably something like Fog or Control, and your deck is boring anyways.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just having one, here, I'm going to take an extra turn as like a cool benefit to the deck, like a high end of your your top end of your deck or something. That's cool. Like pop off.
Yeah.
But if your plan is to just loop that extra turn and win the game that way, that's lame.
Yeah, I just added an extra turn spell into Xyrus because I was consistently finding myself where I would build up this massive board.
Yeah.
And then I would lose because it would get wiped or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like if I just had one extra turn, I could win.
So is it an extra turn that loses you the game at the end of that?
Yeah. What was that card, Caleb?
Last Chance?
Last Chance, yeah. I was like yeah, that's doable.
That makes sense.
What's up, man?
I built a deck around that.
Yeah.
Last Chance?
About cards like Last Chance.
Yeah.
Because it was around the card Hivemind that said whenever anybody casts an instant or sorcery, everybody gets a copy of it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, cool, I don't lose on that extra turn, and I pass.
Yeah. So, if you couldn't hear it on the mics.
Oh, they heard it.
Oh, they.
Yeah.
Okay,
They
cool.
picked it up just fine.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you for contributing.
Thank you.
You're good.
Okay. Yeah. I think for me, if something's too good, it's
good.
really a turn off for me.
Okay.
Like,
What do you mean? What's too good?
Like-
Storm?
I built Kaith, Famed Mechanist, and
does
she
that
says she has improvise, and then spells you cast have improvise, which is where
so Urza type kind of thing going on.
it's like.
Urza's too good.
Wait, no, it's not improvise. What is the fabricate? Sorry,
Okay.
Fabricate. So you could either get a 1/1 or put a +1/+1 counter on things, and whenever a creature enters, you get to do that.
Sure.
And it wasn't like I was infinite combos right off the bat, but it was just like, oh, this is
So effective.
this is half of Edgar Markov, and then the other half, like, just puts additional counters out. Like you're basically always going that one route.
What about those two? The Eminence Commanders. Are those too good? Because I feel they are. As soon as I see one of those in the command zone, I'm like, I know what this game's going to be.
And like even the cat one. That's
Is there an Eminence cat command?
Yeah, Arabo Roar of the World.
What
or
does that
First
one
Roar.
do?
It's like target cat you control gets +3/+3 and trample until end of turn.
Still too good of an effect to just have floating for. It's basically an emblem because you can't get rid of it.
I might be wrong on that. I think it's in my binder, but yeah, it's like cat gets buffed.
Okay.
So
I didn't know there was a third Eminence Commander, but that's interesting.
There's a few.
What a terrible.
Actually, I think
terrible
there's probably
ability.
like 6 or 7 now.
That's rude.
I think Mark Rosewater already said something about it.
What?
One of the podcasts he did.
Yeah.
He was like,
Eminence is too strong?
He's like, Edgar Markov, worst thing I've ever done.
Mark Rosewater also said that they would like not reprint Storm,
And it's on every set that's come out.
I trust
for
Mark. Like, look, Mark, I appreciate the work that you're doing. I trust what you say.
0% of the
0%.
You've ruined our hopes and dreams. For
Yeah,
Magic.
I've heard too many things. Where,
Pinkertons in the market.
Yeah, you hear a car whip up and bust in the door.
yeah,
They plant like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles packs on us and then tackle us to the ground.
Yeah.
Like cops.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is like I'm on record now, two episodes in a row. Like
Yeah.
if you find Universe Beyond packs on me, it was a hit. Like I'm not doing that.
I'm gonna learn about you getting pulled over by the Magic Police, and they found like unreleased sets in the back of your car that
Yeah.
are Universes Beyond. I'm like, nah, he didn't do that.
Yeah.
He didn't do that.
No, I was
Fixated.
yeah, I was suicided. But no, I mean it's really interesting to see the different types of decks that people bring to the table.
It's really a
And
personality when
it
someone does
is,
that.
you know?
When someone puts a deck together in their own custom way, without just EDH rec copy
Yeah.
and paste. You really get a feel for their personality on that style, and it changes between each commander they build. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I get that vibe.
Yeah.
I don't think that is locked in on the cards they have, though. I think that even when they build with proxies, they can express that. Maybe just at a wider rate.
I agree.
I don't have those cards, but I want to play those because I want this style of deck.
I agree. And I think that there's something to be said about too much choice. Like when you can have anything, you're going to default to the better versions of things a lot of times.
I guess, yeah.
You know, like if you have 2-3 mana ramp spells, you know, that do almost the same thing, like you're going to pick the one that's maybe a little more efficient or a little more open. And
But what,
you know,
so in that theory, right, if I only play with cards that I have, only from my collection, let's say I take out my proxies and I take worse versions of whatever I can get, then aren't I just looking for those better versions physically? Like consistently? Or am I just like, okay, this is what I have, I'm never going to change my collection?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. And I think it comes down to how you go about acquiring cards. And this is something that we were talking about earlier, because for me, I have, at least not, maybe in high school I did it, but in my memory, I don't think I've ever bought a card online. And that includes from Card Kingdom, which is just an hour.
No Secret Layers?
Oh, I guess Secret Layers are online.
They technically count.
Yeah, but I'm
even
talking...
though they come straight from the source.
Yeah, you kind of have to get them that way.
You do,
unless you really want to pay like a 500%
Scalper,
markup. Okay, so Secret Layers, yes. But
like not from TCG, not from Card Kingdom.
Yeah, like I had you, I paid you more
to
than...
order one. You used me.
Yeah, I paid you $60 to order me like a $50 card because I refused to buy one online.
That's
and it's
funny.
like, if I can't find a card at a local store that I'm going to physically...
Why is that so important to you?
I think it's because when I started the game, there wasn't a lot of online stores.
Okay.
And I was broke. So I had, well, I was
whammy.
like 10 years old. I was carrying my shit around in Tupperware, you know? And so like, I had to trade for things. I didn't actually have money. And so I just got into the habit of never buying things. I don't even shop on Amazon more than maybe once a year.
Oh my God, you're such a boomer.
I am, yeah. It's awesome.
That's so. I'm not even counting this.
No, but like I think that there's something to be said about it because like if I want to play the deck, I can't instantly get the card that I want.
You can. TCG player will ship it to you in 7 to 10 days.
If I follow my
your
philosophy, what we're talking about, I can't instantly get that card. Maybe the stores have it, maybe they don't, you know?
That is your restriction, for sure.
It is, and I think it's a fun way to play, because when I go to a store and I see that they've restocked, like I check the case at Paradox every week.
Look, for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, dude, that's the card that I was looking for.
Interesting.
You know?
I get that. I get the dedication to buying local or whatever. I build so much, and I play test these theoretical decks that I built so much that I'm like, I will never acquire the cards that I put into this deck. Like I'll never be at a card shop and be like, oh, there's all 40 cards that I'm missing in my collection.
And I think that's kind of the point, is it forces you to play cards that you wouldn't. Like my Rowan deck, half of that deck is not what I want to be playing, but I was looking at a list and I was like, okay, this is the avenue that I want to go down, but I just didn't have the pieces for it. So
you changed a little bit?
I changed probably half the deck. Like the X spells, the main win conditions of the deck are not from that list.
Interesting.
And so because
that's kinda cool.
Because I don't have those cards, I'm constantly looking for them for trading. Like Caleb and I have been trying to hook up to get that Crackle with power for like 3 weeks, and I finally got it today. And it's like, that is something that most people don't have to deal with, or don't choose not to deal with. So I would say, like, if you're looking for a restriction,
cards I own is a restriction.
Cards you own, or like you have to buy them at a store you're physically at, and just see how that affects your deck building.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I feel like for me that would result in oh, I want to build this commander, and then I get like 50% done with the commander, and I'm like, I don't know if I can continue. I don't have shit that makes this commander work.
I mean, maybe that's part of the fun, you know?
And then just I back out and go a different route.
Or you just say, you know what,
Play suboptimally.
I'm gonna try and do it, you know?
Interesting.
Maybe like that's the other side is like if you can get every card you want, you don't have to make compromises in your deck.
How about
and
this?
maybe the compromise is
I see
the unique part.
something good coming out of this. Yeah. I will challenge us both. For this, I guess we can make it like 2 weeks or something, depending on how long it takes for you. I should build a deck that is just my collection and try to make something decent out of it.
Yeah.
And you should build a deck on Mana Box or whatever you use with any card in the world. Just a challenge for each of us to step out of
I actually have to order it?
I'm not saying you have to order it.
Okay.
I'm saying you should build it and then proxy it.
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to build a deck with just my collection. It's a challenge.
I don't know if I could proxy. I've never done it. I've never proxied
I will
a card
print the
in my
cards
life.
off for you if that helps.
I don't know. I feel like I would feel bad.
I also feel dirty just using cards in my collection instead of trying to find the best one. It's a good challenge if you're feeling out of your box.
I need a couple of those tokens.
I don't know if I could proxy cards.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I'm so against it. I've never done it.
I don't know if I can only use the cards in my collection.
Yeah, but you've bought cards at stores before.
What does that mean?
It means that you've done the thing. It's essentially like me proxying a card. You're just doing it for the whole deck. I've never proxied any card.
No, I'm saying I would use only my collection, like you're saying you do.
Yeah.
I would use your restriction on myself, and I would say that you should use my restriction on yours. Or okay, how about this? Since you're so uncomfortable with proxying, why don't you do my restriction and I'll do your restriction? Your restriction being I can only use cards I own. I won't, and cards I can find in my local game store. You do the restriction of 2DH.
I can build a 2DH
Build
deck
a
for
2DH.
sure. Yeah. I would definitely do that.
That's a more fair, less uncomfortable restriction.
I don't know why I feel so icky about it.
It's just proxies. They're not going to hurt you.
I don't like it.
Once the challenge is over, you can put the proxies away and it doesn't matter.
I would burn them.
That's
I would
fine.
rip them
They're
apart.
paper. You can do that.
Yeah.
You can do that with magic cards either, but don't do that.
Yeah. So why is it different?
Because one's worth money and one's not.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Monetary value.
Devin, I will build a 2DH deck if you will.
I'll use only cards in my collection.
Only cards in your collection.
And then we'll try to make a decent deck.
You know, shake hands?
Yeah, sure.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Okay. Well, Devin, thank you for being my magical friend.
Yes.
And for
thank you.
getting me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, I almost took you way out.
Yeah.
We'll work up to that.
Deep end.
We'll work up to that.
I don't know.
Think about it.
I don't know if I'll ever proxy.
Think about it. What you could even challenge me to something deeper out of my comfort zone. Maybe I'll make a CDH deck.
Maybe. I think that's a good exercise, but we'll talk about that another time. Thanks for listening, everybody. Enjoy your Doritos. I know I will. And have a good week.
See ya.